Stray animals that roam the streets, especially cats and dogs, are a serious problem in many countries. It's difficult to rehome or feed them because of their large number, which makes for a depressing picture. On the other hand, very few countries face a comparable situation with regard to horses. In many regions, wild horses are a familiar sight, yet they are visually pleasing and self-sufficient. In the story we are about to tell, the horses are not as happy as they used to be. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. They were formerly used as working horses, but they are currently homeless. We'll be looking at an incredible rescue tale that is simultaneously tragic and endearing. Horses and donkeys were widely used for agriculture and transportation in Romania. Horse-drawn carts were still a regular sight in many Romanian cities because these animals were workhorses. In a nation where a large proportion of the population lives in poverty, owning a horse or donkey and a cart was far less expensive than owning a car. This still warrants careful thought. The only issue arose when they had to provide long-term care for the animal's welfare. In situations where families are struggling to meet their basic necessities, caring for an animal becomes considerably more difficult. Not everyone has the resources, even those with the greatest of intentions and a passion for animals. They would give the animals what they had, which might not have been sufficient to provide for their basic needs. Even here, in a very literal sense, the animals would be the ones carrying the greatest weight as they would earn some revenue from their own tiny companies with their cart. There are many worse stories than that. They are only the positive ones. Then Romania chose to support a new rule that the European Union had created in an attempt to outlaw the use of horse-drawn carts on public roadways. Anyone seen utilizing these carts on the road alongside other cars might face fines and perhaps jail time. The primary goal of this law's implementation was to ensure the safety of other drivers, but it was also enacted with the greatest of intentions to assist these creatures regain their rights. However, things didn't exactly work out as planned. Carts were not officially forbidden, although they could not be used on any roadways. It drove individuals to give them up, which many politicians had, to be honest, intended. But rather of being a means of providing support for these working animals, it made matters worse. Those who were already in financial difficulty were without a means of earning income for a spell. They didn't have the means to take care of their family, much less the animals that had previously provided them with a living. People who genuinely loved their pets were struggling as well. Horses were being left on the street in increasing numbers. For some of these owners, they were useless. It may have appeared as though giving up was a last-ditch effort to restore financial stability. That's the situation with one household. The Bozy family treated their horse with genuine affection. To make sure Kopek was taken care of and got at least some food, they would even go without. He would frequently have to eat less than what a horse ought to consume. But his family made an effort. This family's horse stood out from the rest as well cared for in a place when many others just didn't seem to care. They never put more than he could manage in the cart. They made sure he never had to experience the excruciating blisters that hauling a cart frequently brought. They took care to ensure that he slept in between workdays and was never overworked. To sum up, this was a decent family that made a sincere effort. Following the passage of the new law, their little business failed. All they had left was nothing. The father did go out and seek for job, but it was difficult to find anything because so many other people were doing the same. And since a horse and cart had been their primary mode of transportation for many years, many of them, including the Bozy family, had no way to get to work. There was a lot to get used to. After a while, the husband did manage to secure a job, but the salary was insufficient to pay for the car he would need to drive to work. As best they could, they took care of Kopek, but the family still needed to feed. The children need attention because they were young. Kopek was getting thinner, and they were running out of time. They called every local shelter and veterinarian. Not only did they wish to leave Kopek behind, but they would soon be forced to do so. The response to such a major problem in the city was always the same. They were too crowded to accommodate another horse. They were too poor to adopt another animal. The family was inconsolable. Then they faced yet another setback, leaving them with very little alternatives. Their little boy was riding his bike to the nearby school when he fell. His leg was broken when he fell. What little funds they had left, whatever they had used up to that moment to take care of Kopek, would be devoured by the medical costs. He'd go hungry if they kept him around. They owed it to him to try and give it their all. This was a city setting. There were few spots where a horse might be placed and perhaps have some food available to him. At last, they discovered a large, grassy, open area outside of the city. Even a little creek meandered through it. It was a distance, and those who didn't give a damn about their runaway horses wouldn't look this far for a location to drop him down. The family brought him there, and they bid him farewell with broken hearts. They didn't know if it would be enough, but this was the best they could do for Kopek. They reasoned that he would have plenty to eat and drink at least here. There were even a few trees that offered some cover. There would be no way for the family to follow up with him. For them, covering that distance might make the difference between visiting Kopek and having dinner that day. To many of us, it might not seem like much. He didn't know how to manage it because he was on his own. Though there was plenty of grass all around him, Kopek had always been housed in a stable, which presented a challenge. For the most of his life, he was given hay because there weren't many green areas in the city. He ate very little since he was unaware that the substance he was standing in was food. He was unable to locate any familiar food, not even when he was really hungry. After days of despair, he may have eaten a few nibbles, but the green trees and grass were getting harder to come by. He took a sip of water from the stream, which gave him some more energy. However, he was unable to drink from the stream when he arrived there early one morning. Ice remained and not a drop of water. Every night he felt chilly, extremely hungry, and more thirsty. The life Kopek had known was not this one. People have adored him forever. Yes, he had gone without meals for a good number of years. There are even others who claim he had starved for years but never anything like, and he didn't know how to take care of himself anymore. It was a hopeless scenario. The horse was growing lethargic. He was not feeling well and was finding it difficult to stand anymore. It was getting dark and the chill began to creep into every part of his body. It felt as though he was immobile. Even though the night was lengthy, there didn't seem to be much heat when daybreak finally arrived. Kopek was nearly at the brink of surrender. He was hungry and freezing. He was prepared to give up entirely as he lay down on the chilly ground. Even a few more hours would have been all Kopek would have needed to survive, but right before he could shut his eyes. As he got closer, he heard voices approaching him. Some of them were familiar, yelling his name and racing in his direction. It was the dominant clan with a few others following. Those who were with them fed him right away and wrapped him in warm blankets. Tearfully, the family thanked the rescuers, saying they would never forget their horse and would always need help. Following a protracted wait, animal protection organizations came up to give assistance in an extraordinary rescue that took place in Romania. They overcame several obstacles and did everything they could to help Kopek recover his health. Their goal was to locate him a long-term residence where he would get excellent care. I hope you find this film enjoyable in the future. Kindly subscribe to and share our video. I appreciate you seeing. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.